Today on Public Eye News, Joe Biden publicly begins his 2024 presidential campaign with his first campaign ad, and later, how the nation is spending National Park Week. Our very own Nolan Schaefer will have your weather through the end of the week, and Beck Brearley will have your sports recap. I'm Amy Doyle, and this is Public Eye News. Released its first ad for the 2024 cycle. The campaign aims to emphasize President Biden's commitment to personal freedom and democracy. The ad focuses on growing the economy from the middle out, protecting women's right to choose, lowering child care and prescription drug costs, and safeguarding Social Security and Medicare. The 2-week, 7-figure ad buy will target battleground states like Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. The media buying strategy prioritizes reach in markets across the U.S., a strategy that the campaign hopes will enable it to access more voters. And the Supreme Court is hearing arguments to decide on a Minneapolis woman's property rights. Geraldine Tyler is a 94-year-old woman who lost her condo over unpaid property taxes. The county sold it for $40,000, keeping the money. Her lawyers argue this violated constitutional protections against property being taken without just compensation. Minnesota and roughly a dozen other states allow local jurisdictions to keep excess money from selling homes, and Tyler's case raises concerns about homeowners receiving little or nothing from these sales. Tyler is supported by AARP, business groups, and real estate interests, while Minnesota and a handful of states are backing the county. And while Minneapolis will feature in the Supreme Court, back in the Twin Cities, the Minnesota House will consider 2 public safety bills that include proposals for a red flag law, allowing temporary confiscation of guns from individuals deemed an immediate threat. The bills would expand background checks for firearm transfers. Democrats argue these are common sense measures addressing gun violence, but Republicans have submitted over 30 amendments in response. The Minnesota governor has pledged to sign the bills if they make it to his desk. Some lead Republicans have spoken out, saying that the proposals would violate Second Amendment rights. The House is expected to debate the bill today. And college-bound students across the country will soon have to choose where they're headed this fall. But one student in New Orleans will be choosing from more than 100 schools. And as Bradley Blackburn reports, he's raking in not only acceptance letters, but scholarship offers too.
Every kid applying to college wants to read those magic words, "You've been accepted." And high school senior Dennis Barnes has seen them a lot.
What school is this? Hoover College?
The 16-year-old from New Orleans has a box full of fat envelopes and a growing pile of acceptance letters from at least 125 colleges and universities that want him to attend this fall.
It's not normal. I know it's not, of course. I started and didn't realize where I was going, but as I realized the path I was heading down, like I said, I rolled my momentum, and then I ended up farther than I even would have ever thought I would have been.
The teen applied to more than 200 schools planning to study computer science. Since then, he's also been offered more than $9 million in scholarships, possibly an all-time record, and he's hoping for $1 million more.
As the numbers started getting bigger and bigger, my drive was there.
Barnes has a 4.98 GPA, attends advanced classes, and is fluent in Spanish. His mom, Reba Barnes, says he's always been driven.
He has big ambition, big goals, and I believe with everything in me that he's going to achieve all of it.
Of course, Barnes can only pick one school from all those options.
I think I'm looking for a place where I'm going to be comfortable, where they're going to take care of me financially.
He says he'll make his choice by the beginning of May. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Now don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with your weather and national news after this break.
Watch the 2023 spring commencement here on WNMU-TV, Saturday, May 6th at 10 a.m.
Hi, welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Nolan Schaefer, and I'm here with your weather. Let's take a look at our school sky cam. As you can see, we have some partly cloudy skies with our sun coming out today. As we take a look at our weather today, or current temperatures across the UP, up in Houghton, we have partly cloudy skies with 46 degrees. Again, partly cloudy skies in Ironwood with a temperature of 45. Down in Iron Mountain, we have a temperature of 47 with some partly cloudy skies. Down in Menominee, 42 with some cloudy skies. And in Escanaba, 44 with some partly cloudy skies. Manistique, the temperature is 45 with some cloudy skies. In Sault Ste. Marie, we have temperatures of 41 degrees and cloudy skies. And in the lovely Marquette, we have temperatures of 46 and partly cloudy skies, as you can see here. And our winds are out of the southwest at 8 miles per hour. And the pressure is 30.26 and falling. And tonight you can expect some partly cloudy skies with a low of 36 and winds out of the east at 7 miles per hour. And tomorrow you can expect some rain with a high of 53, a low of 36, and those winds coming out of the south at 18 miles per hour. And looking forward to this weekend, Friday, we're gonna have a high of 47 with some cloudy skies and a low of 37. Friday, we're gonna have some rain with a high of 40 and a low of 35. And Sunday, we're gonna have a high of 37, some snow, and a low of 32. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Nolan, for that weather update. I'm happy to see the sun is poking out just a little bit around that map. And in other news, Montana House Republicans will vote today on censoring or expelling lawmaker Zoe Zephyr, a transgender state representative, following her comments on a bill to ban gender-affirming medical care for transgender children. Zephyr had stated that if the House voted for the ban on transgender care, they would have blood on their hands, a comment the House Majority Leader called inappropriate and disrespectful, leading to a standoff over Zephyr's rights to protest. Montana House Speaker canceled Tuesday's floor session without explanation, and some Republican members of the House, including Speaker Matt Riger, demanded that Zephyr issue a public apology before being permitted back in legislative sessions. Zephyr has doubled down on her stance, stating that her comment accurately reflected the stakes of the gender-affirming care. The events culminated Monday when a rally outside the Capitol later led into the gallery at the State House, bringing House proceedings to a halt while protesters chanted, "Let her speak." 7 arrests were made at the protest, and today's vote will see the gallery closed to the public. And today, President Joe Biden and President Yoon Suk Yeol will sign a joint agreement that will include measures to dock U.S. nuclear submarines in South Korea, the first time this will happen in 40 years. This comes after President Yoon stated that the country was considering restarting its nuclear program earlier this year. South Korea gave up its nuclear weapon development program almost 50 years ago after signing the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. The agreement will feature increased coordination on nuclear response strategy in the event of North Korea attacking the South. But operational control of nuclear weapons would remain in the U.S. control, and no nuclear weapons are being deployed onto South Korean shores. The agreement also calls for an increase in U.S. and South Korean joint military training and better integration of South Korean military assets into the joint strategic deterrence effort. The two presidents are scheduled to host a joint press conference today. And in celebration of Earth Month, we're taking you to the great outdoors to explore incredible things happening in our national parks. CBS's Nicole D'Antonio takes us to the front lines of environmental protection, where it takes a team of thousands of volunteers to preserve hundreds of parks, some of which exist in your own backyard.
From sea to shining sea, from rocky canyons to rushing waters and marshy swamps, National Park Week started more than 30 years ago and is now celebrated every April during Earth Month. More than 300,000 people volunteered to help the National Park Service manage the parks. Volunteer Dave Jacobson says he first got involved after he retired.
Most everybody that I come across here, they're in a good mood and they're having a good day. And the reason they're having a good day is because they're here.
The National Park Service hopes to restore the number of visitors to pre-pandemic levels. But today, there are about 15 million fewer visitors than before the pandemic.
This view is a big reason why people travel to visit Great Falls Park. And this is one of more than 400 national parks all across the country.
Maria Stursiker, a National Park Service ranger, started as a volunteer.
My nature was I played soccer. I thought the grass was nature, and that was good enough.
In addition to volunteering, the National Park Service encourages people to use the campsites, get involved in park conservation, or just walk around for a day.
We have 3 kids, and so we planned an us day, and we make it a special occasion. So this us day, we was going straight to Great Falls.
The park rangers say the fresh air, sunshine, and their distinct differences are key components to each of our national parks. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Great Falls, Virginia.
And after this break, Beck will have your sports recap. We'll be right back after this.
On PBS, starting with a new episode of Nature.
A Caribbean secret and the fight for its future has only just begun.
Followed by a new episode of Nova.
There's enough offshore wind capacity to power the country 4 times over.
This is something that just a few years ago was considered impossible.
New episodes of Nature and Nova. Wednesday night at 8/7 Central, only on PBS.
And welcome back. My name is Beck Brearley, and I'm here with your sports update. It looks like a former NMU men's basketball player had a great first year in professional basketball. John Kerr finished his first season with the BC Australia, who played in the Gregorian A-League. Kerr took home Big Man of the Year honors along with a selection to the All-League First Team and All-Import Team. Over the course of the session, Kerr averaged a double-double with 16.9 points and 10.2 rebounds. The 6'7" forward played for the Cats for 1 season, where he was a member of the All-GLIAC second team and All-GLIAC defensive team. While Kerr was a member of the Cats, the team finished 3rd in the GLIAC and made the GLIAC championship game. And it looks like the NHL has announced that they will be sending 4 teams to Sweden next year for 4 exhibition games, played before the start of the season. The games will be held in Stockholm, Sweden, in the Avicii Arena. This is the second set of games the league will play outside of North America next year, with a 2-game series in Australia already announced. The 2 series will help bring interest in the sport to a new market down under, while also embroidering its already passionate Scandinavian fan base. Among the teams headed to Stockholm are the Detroit Red Wings, who will face off against Ottawa Senators on November 16th, and the Toronto Maple Leafs on November 17th. Well, ahead of the 2024 Olympics in France, protests have already broken out over the unmet promises from the French government to make the games more accessible for those with disabilities. French President Emmanuel Macron is hosting a national conference on disabilities on Wednesday that a number of disability groups were invited to. One of the groups was not invited was the Collective Handicaps, an organization that encompasses more than 50 different campaign groups. The organization had asked for an opportunity to speak in front of the president over fears that the new pledges of accessibility wouldn't be enough. Even attending the conference can be a challenge due to the lack of accessibility on Paris public transportation. Earlier this month, the Council of France announced that in violation of a European treaty for failing to meet the needs of adults and children with disabilities. It looks like we all got over here. Back to you, Amy.
Thank you, Beck, for that sports update. Hey, NMU students, finals week for the semester is upon us. Finals will begin on Monday morning at 8 a.m. and run through Friday evening. Study hard, Wildcats, and good luck on your exams. And in Belgium, a shipment of 2,352 cans of Miller High Life was destroyed at the request of the Comrite Champagne. The Comrite claims that the beer slogan of the Champagne of Beers infringes on the protected designation of Champagne. The American beer is not distributed to the EU, but was ordered by a German who the Belgian customs declined to disclose who had offered them. Miller was founded by a German immigrant in the 1850s, with High Life launching in 1903. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for Public Eye News. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.